You guys know that I've been bearish on Bitcoin pretty much since we were setting these all-time highs, warning you guys that Bitcoin has been showing weakness and we could be looking to drop. But I've also been telling you that on the larger time frames, right? This is only my short-term analysis. I've been telling you that on the larger time frame, I still think Bitcoin is very bullish. And today, I want to show you something absolutely huge that could be taking us to well above $70,000 and potentially even beyond with this. Again, very realistic and grounded analysis. I'm not going to be trying to reach out into thin air and just grab random shit to tell me that my investments are going to go up. I'm actually going to back this up with key reasons for why I think this could happen and why not. And this all comes off the idea of Bitcoin forming a falling wedge pattern right now. So again, those of you who have been subscribed to this channel for a while, you're going to know about this very well by now. But one of my favorite little ways to carry out technical analysis is understanding the direction of the trend and then basically saying that we're going to form what I call staircase steps and then move up again. And this is something that I've been using a lot. It works to the downside as well. We move down, we form that staircase step, we move down again, and we've constantly been forming those staircase steps in this trend right here, potentially in another one just now. And so, you know, this works in reverse. It's one of the easiest ways to carry out analysis. And you guys know me, again, if you've been watching for a while, I don't like to make my life difficult, right? A lot of people will realize that trading is not easy, and then they try and make their analysis difficult as well, which I think is extremely stupid. Honestly, it's probably down to just not wanting to succeed in the first place, but only wanting the emotional highs. But that's not what I'm about. I like to make my life easy because I don't want to struggle to make money in these markets. Some people do. Good for them. Anyway, what I'm seeing here is a potential beautiful staircase step to the downside. And I first have to highlight to you how Bitcoin has already done this. Now, I've already shown you this in a previous video, but just very quickly to recap in about 10 seconds, Bitcoin managed to move up very nicely to the upside from about $29,000 all the way up to 53. We got a strong pullback down to the $40,000 level. This was our staircase step, and then we moved up, and we're right now in another correction again. And so just in, I think the last video, I was talking to you about how this could actually be an Elliott wave, right? Where I showed you Bitcoin potentially forming something like this. And guys, if you are missing these videos, you need to make sure you subscribe to this channel. We've been blowing up lately because you guys have been loving the content. Thank you all so much for the support. But the key thing is, if you're just watching these videos, but you're not already subscribed, the YouTube algorithm is not going to keep on recommending this channel to you. So if you want to keep on seeing this content, you need to make sure you hit that button. But Elliott Impulse Wave also showing us the same thing here. What I want to focus your attention on is the smaller pattern that Bitcoin's in right now, which we can actually look at if we look at it, for example, on the 4-hour time frame, where Bitcoin has now actually established a pretty good area of support right down here with this diagonal trend line showing us some support in the market. And our range is actually tightening because we have a pretty good resistance line as well. Now, both of these lines have 3 hits on them for support and 3 for resistance, which is good. Not great, but it's definitely good. And this is showing me that Bitcoin has now kind of been condensing in this kind of downward trading range, which is almost always a bullish pattern. Why is it a bullish pattern? Well, it's quite simply because the market has been trending up. We've then ended up trending down slowly because this is quite slow. If we look at the move to the upside and we compare it to the move to the downside, we're actually moving fairly slowly, in my opinion. You know, obviously with the exception of this kind of sideways trading range, this sell-off is not as aggressive as the uptrend. And so that tells me that actually this might not be the true price action for the long-term trend. Obviously, this is playing directly into long-term support as well. Guys, this is where, you know, obviously analysis is nuanced, right? I'm not telling you that something is definitely going to happen or, you know, that I'm only looking at one direction, right? I think what a lot of people miss is that you can be bearish on the short-term charts because they're bearish, but you can be bullish on the long-term charts because they're bullish. And that's a very important balance to be able to strike, which if you mess it up, you're going to be in a lot of, and I mean a lot of pain and misery in terms of financial losses, right? So a lot of people will say, Sammy, you're permanently bearish. No, I'm not. I'm just a short-term analyst. And when the short-term trend is bearish, you better believe I'm going to try and make money while the trend is dropping. And actually, I was able to do exactly that inside of 4Flies VIP. We've just ran and finished our biggest ever minus 68% sale for Black Friday, Thanksgiving, and all that. Thank you all very much for those of you who took advantage of it. And shout out to those of you who are already in VIP as well. We're sitting at like 1,300 members, which is absolutely huge. Guys, if you missed it because you didn't watch the videos or you were just busy, you know, with your family over the weekend and stuff like that, I'm still going to keep it open for you for these last minute people. For those of you who didn't get a chance to even hear about it, you can still reach out following these steps for our biggest ever discount, and just take a look at some of the beautiful successes we've had in this market cycle right here. 121%, 109, and by the way, we've had, I mean, a lot, dozens and dozens and dozens of these, but I'm only picking out a few random ones right here. 53%. This person made his first ever trade inside of VIP and made 53%, $11,000. Absolutely bloody stunning. 240% here. This person was previously losing a lot of money, joined VIP, and fixed up his trading strategy. Very, very impressive. So if you want to jump in, see how these people have been able to do it, we tailor it to all skill levels, and depending on which plan you get, most people are also going to get free access into my Forthlight Academy course, where I'm teaching you all about trading from A to Z. And those of you who take our annual option, you're going to get a phone call with me right after you join. We can discuss all of your previous trades, what you've been doing well, what you haven't been doing well. I can give you some pointers and things to consider, and then we can do follow-up calls on that pretty much as you like. So follow these steps on screen for more information on all of that. First link in the description down below, at Forthlight button at the bottom of any post inside of Forthlight Gold, and then send message to ask me how to join Forthlight VIP. The first link here will take you to my free Telegram channel. This is where I give you more analysis. So even if you don't want VIP, you should definitely be in here if you like my content. Anyway, moving it back to the chart right here, like I said, there's still a lot of support in this range. And also, if we take a look at the Fear and Greed Index, just yesterday we were looking at a reading of 21. People are feeling a little bit too worried in this market right now, right as we are in the biggest area of support that Bitcoin has, according to the Ichimoku cloud. So I want you guys to keep that in mind and stay level-headed. Bitcoin managed to form a little bit of a reaction rally over the past 24 hours. Didn't do much, but it has just kind of leveled out. We are now potentially very short-term chart. I just want to show you this while I'm here, may as well. You know, we are potentially forming a little bit of a rising wedge at the minute, which would look something a bit like this, which is a typical bearish pattern where, you know, we move down and we're slowly trending up with that staircase step and then getting ready to move down again. The last time I told you Bitcoin could be doing something like this, I was saying that Bitcoin could move down here, trade sideways in this range, find resistance here, find support here, and then eventually crash down. That's exactly what happened. So I'm using the exact same technical analysis, guys. I really don't make my life complicated here. Analysis does not need to be complicated if you understand the fundamentals very well, and that's what I aim to deliver to you guys on this channel. So if you do appreciate that, do me a favor and smash up the likes right now for the algorithm, so you keep on getting these videos. This channel keeps on growing, and we're all very happy and a happy family right here. But moving it back to the slightly longer term chart, this, I think, is very, very important, right? I think that Bitcoin is not actually destined to be in a bear market right now. I think it's in a good area of support. I think people are overall feeling quite fearful when actually we're right in a really, really good area of support. We haven't even fully lost this range of support right here, right? You guys have seen me drawing a box here. If you've been watching this channel a lot, you'll know about this kind of box that I was looking at. Bitcoin hasn't even fallen completely out of it. I think I have this box on this chart right here. I've already drawn it. Maybe it's on this chart. No, oh yeah, here it is. It's this box right here representing the bottom of the range. Look, we're doing well, right? For people to get this fearful, you know, here's where I would get this at the point where I would be on this reading of like 21 and 27 in terms of fear in this market. Bitcoin would have to drop below $29,000, and even at that point, I'm not going to be fearful. I'm going to be extremely fucking excited, because that means I might get a $20,000 Bitcoin and I get to sell my house and buy more Bitcoin. So you know, even then I wouldn't be fearful in this market. But it's just to give you guys an idea of like, look, there's a lot of support for Bitcoin to find. Now granted, if we fail 53,000, 52, if we drop below 51, that kind of range, I think it will get very bad for Bitcoin, because there isn't a lot of consolidation that happens on this chart between 53 and 30 and the kind of mid to low $30,000 range, looking a little bit like this, right? In between these two boxes, Bitcoin usually zips straight up and zips straight back down. It usually doesn't trade in this big gap here much. So where it would get bad, in my opinion, is if Bitcoin lost this range. Now, I can make a dedicated video about this if you want me to, talking to you about Bitcoin's worst case scenario in the short term. If you want me to do that, do me a favor and just tell me in the comments, tell me, Sammy, I want you to cover the bearish side as well. Just tell me something along those lines, or just say bearish video, or say make a bearish video, something simple, so you don't have to type too much. Just to signal to me that you want me to talk about what could happen if Bitcoin drops below this range, because that's where I think it honestly could get really, really bad for Bitcoin. Up until this point, yes, I've been bearish short term, but I've always been telling you that Bitcoin still has a lot of support. And it does have support below this box, by the way. It has a lot of support. So the Ichimoku cloud is telling me a different story here, but you guys know the deal. I only use these indicators to supplement my core analysis, and my core analysis is always just very fucking simple because I don't like to overcomplicate things. You know, one of the things that a lot of people miss in trading is that again, like I said, they find it very difficult and they want to overcomplicate it because they think that it actually does need to be that complicated. And that is not true. I am aiming to show that to you with this YouTube channel. I've shown that to so many people inside of ForceFly's VIP, and those of you who've also enrolled in our ForceFly's Academy course for free, or if you just bought it standalone as well. You've seen that with my trading style and with my analysis style. This stuff does not need to be overly complicated, but here we are. This range right here, this box, I think representing almost a final frontier for Bitcoin, where if we do break it, look, there is still going to be support. You can draw support at a lot of different levels, right? Just any of these lines you could consider to be support, but none of these areas will be big support for Bitcoin, in my opinion. So we would need to fall down to the next strong area of consolidation, the next strong area of reversals, right? This is where big reversals have happened in the trend. So we would need to drop down to a very important level like this, I think, if we lost this one right here. And that's where I think things could get very, very bad. But at the moment, we haven't lost it. And we are, according to this pattern right here, actually in an extremely bullish chart setup right now, in my opinion, which ends right at a core important area of support, in my opinion, and of course lining up with the daily Ichimoku cloud. So as far as bullish things go, to me, this is huge. Now, the shorter term trend shows us why this can be a problem, right? Because for Bitcoin to go back up to this resistance line, and by the way, we are at about the time now where we need to break it, right? Bitcoin needs to get a bullish breakout now, or very soon. I'm talking first few days of December, but you know, I mean, it really, you can't keep trading in these patterns forever because they just get too steep. And so, you know, I mean, in a real trading range, you're just not gonna, you know, be trading this deep into a pattern, you know, like this. You know, usually you're going to break out at around this kind of point. I mean, we should have already had this breakout, and so we need to do it very quickly. But the problem that we're going to find, which is exactly what I warned you about yesterday, is that on these shorter term charts, Bitcoin still has a lot of resistance, right? If we look at the Ichimoku cloud, it's getting lower and lower and lower, meaning that Bitcoin is going to keep on suffering. The higher it tries to go, the longer it waits as well. If we look at the moving average momentum, look, I mean, we are like $1,000 away from encountering huge resistance on the 4-hour time frame. We've already encountered it on the 1-hour time frame, and it's already rejected us twice. So there is a lot of resistance that's weighing on this market right now, and that's making it difficult for Bitcoin to get this bullish breakout. But if we do manage to get these skies clearing up a little bit, I think that can actually lead Bitcoin to rise much, much higher. So this is something I'm looking for. Like I told you in the last video, right now is where I'm now trying to look for signs to be more bullish. I'm not getting them yet on the short-term chart, but the long-term chart is very, very positive in my opinion, and that is something that I want to, you know, keep retaining perspective of at the moment, because I don't want to get caught up in being too bearish because of the short-term trend right when we're about to be at a potential reversal point. So this is where I'm telling you now that the chances, the risk of Bitcoin reversing and trending back up towards 70,000 are much higher right now than they were previously, and this is obviously just in my opinion. And if we look at how high Bitcoin can break out, well, obviously I think we would end up breaking out to the very top of this wedge, which would put us at about $69,000. But take a look at this. The last time we got such a severe correction, this correction was a -23, -24% correction. Right now we're in about -22. So very similar correction to what we had last time, even similar in terms of time frame. Look at this. It took 16 days to bottom out over here and drop by 22%. And right here it took 14 days to bottom out and drop by about 24%. So very, very similar time frames in terms of this correction right now. But then when we managed to set that bottom, look at how much Bitcoin rallied by in one leg. In 21 days, one leg, Bitcoin managed to rise up by 65%. Now, if you're already subscribed and you watched my previous video, you're going to know about how this leg is usually the strongest one. So I'm not saying that we're going to have another 60% rally, but let's say we get, I don't know, a 40% rally up from this level. A 40% move to the upside is still going to put us well above $70,000, and I think it's going to be a really, really good target. If we get something a little bit more aggressive, let's say it's 55%, something pretty damn aggressive now, we're looking at $85,000 if this ends up being the bottom. So to me, in terms of having a nice move to the upside, a strong and healthy correction followed by another nice move to the upside, and then another strong and healthy correction, it just makes complete sense to me that Bitcoin can rally up into that $70,000-$80,000 range from these price levels right here. So that is what I really want to be putting on your radar right now. Now, obviously, that means this is going to be very, very thrilling to trade. And if you don't already trade on Bybit, then I don't know what you're doing. This is the only exchange I've been using for a long time. It's definitely the most reliable and safest for the kind of trading that you can do in this market, in my opinion. And I've been working with them for years, so really do have some history with them as well. If you want to sign up and use Bybit, but also get some free cash, you can do that by following the link in the description, because you're going to get up to $3,500 completely free of charge, just as a thank you for using my sign up link to Bybit. So definitely take advantage of that. It's going to take you less than 5 minutes to get it, to sign up and make your first deposit. And of course, if you want to take advantage of our 68% Black Friday sale, which is over now, it is over. So it's only for those of you who are sticking around towards the end of these videos and really staying quite engaged. If you've missed it, perhaps because you were with family over the weekend and all that, now is your final chance to get in. If you want to take advantage of this huge discount and just see what's on offer, pricing has changed. So if you've asked in the past, you might see that there are lower prices right now. This is the lowest set of pricing we've ever offered on ForFlies VIP. And actually, fun fact for those of you who've been around for years, the price that we're charging for our annual subscription is now nearly the same as the price we used to charge for the monthly subscription. And that's purely because Bitcoin has skyrocketed so high. So you are literally getting the best prices we have ever offered in terms of Bitcoin prices. And I think potentially even the best prices against the dollar, but I don't check that stuff. Regardless, if you think it's going to be good, now's your time to reach out. You've already missed it, but we're going to open it back up for those of you who have, for example, missed it just out of inconveniences and stuff like that. And also, I got to remind you guys about actually something I haven't even spoken about is V-Launch. Now, I should have already had the links open right here, but this is a project backed by Crypto and Moritz and Crypto Mo. These guys are essentially launching a crypto coin. Let me just show you that Twitter real quick. This is the one to show you guys. These guys are launching a coin which I think has a lot of potential because of the economics of it to blow up. And so I wanted to bring this to your attention. Now, I'm not gonna talk about this too much in this video. I'll talk about it more later on, but I am personally invested in this. I don't invest in shit coins often. So this, it's got to be really, really good. And you guys know me, anything that's not Bitcoin is automatically considered a shit coin in my books, but that doesn't mean that I'm not willing to trade them. That doesn't mean I'm not willing to buy them and invest in them. I've done Swissborg. I don't think these coins are shit coin, to be honest, but I just group them all together for simplicity. I've also bought Swissborg, made a shitload of money on it. And that was the last time that I really bought an altcoin. So, please keep that in mind with this one right here. I think that this has a lot of potential to blow up because of all of the media backing here. So keep that in mind. I'll talk to you more about it later though. And just to be clear, because I know a lot of people will misinterpret that, that's not me calling this a shitcoin. I just group them all together if they're not actually Bitcoin. But I can tell you that I've invested a fairly substantial sum myself in this project. And I will talk to you all more about that a little bit later on this channel in different videos. But if you have enjoyed this one, you know what to do. Subscribe, tick the bell, hit the like button, do all that good stuff. Get inside VIP if you've been curious. Now is your chance. We're not going to be cheaper than this. The cheapest prices we've ever offered. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.